Bureau Chief Laura Leslie live at the legislative building. Bring us up to speed, Laura. What are the details of this bill?
Deb, those details are still unfolding, and they say the whole bill is not going to be available till later tonight, so there's a lot we don't know. But what they are telling us is that the new bill will allow abortions up to 12 weeks, and it would make exceptions up to 20 weeks in cases of rape and incest, and at any point to save the life of the mother or in case of a life-limiting abnormality for the fetus. Now, sponsors say it would restrict chemical abortions to the first semester. After that, it would have to be a surgical procedure. It will also put more restrictions on abortion clinics, which may cause some of them to close. Senator Joyce Kravick said they saw the overturning of Roe v. Wade last year as an opportunity.
And our laws have allowed abortions through the second trimester of a woman's pregnancy. That is unacceptable. We have the opportunity to save many lives. We have the opportunity to provide women and families options that they haven't had before.
Now, Kravick and others say that this is a pro-woman holistic bill that includes money for crisis pregnancy centers, also $160 million for maternal and infant mortality, something that has long been a problem here in North Carolina. As I said, though, a lot of the details of this are still not known, like what the penalties would be for doctors, for example. Now, we do expect this will pass the House and Senate with full Republican support. That's what the deal being announced means. It will almost certainly be vetoed by Governor Roy Cooper. However, the Republicans, now with the defection of Representative Tricia Cotham, do have the votes that they need to override a veto and put this into law without the governor's signature. Deb?
Yeah, Laura, I heard them talking about an adoption task force, too, and helping young people who are still in school with money to continue schooling if they're pregnant. So like you said, a lot in this bill. Are you hearing from Democrats at all? Even though the Republicans don't need Democrats to support this bill, will any jump on board?
Well, they did not mention any Democratic support for this bill at this point. It may simply be that the Democrats don't know about it. This is just being introduced to everybody, I think. But we did just see a tweet from the governor. Maybe we can pull that up on the screen. But he says this proposal erodes further the freedom of women and their doctors to make deeply personal health care decisions. And Cooper goes on to say, I, along with most North Carolinians, are alarmed by the overreach of Republican politicians into people's personal lives, and I strongly oppose. So pretty clearly a veto from the governor on the way.
You know, Laura, early on in some of the discussions, we were hearing as early as 6 weeks those abortion restrictions could be put in place. So this is somewhat of a compromise to say 12 weeks amongst the Republicans. Is that right?
It is. So our current law is at 20 weeks. A lot of the states around us have gone to the 6 weeks, also known as the heartbeat bill. That is a bill that makes it basically illegal to have an abortion as soon as you can sense a heartbeat in the fetus, around 6 weeks usually. That was something that I know a lot of the pro-life advocates around here at the legislature really wanted to see. But, you know, they did have to get this through the House and the Senate with full support. And there are some other Republicans, especially in swing districts, that saw that as possibly being a little bit too extreme for them to take home to their voters. So this represents a political compromise that the Republicans can hold their caucus together on.
Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie, an expert on this topic. We appreciate your live report now from Raleigh. Thank you, Laura.
All right, Deborah, we continue to get reaction from this news breaking within the past few minutes. That press conference and briefing there in downtown Raleigh continues this evening, so we'll continue to monitor that. Planned Parenthood putting out a tweet within just seconds of that major announcement, highlighted in blue here. They say, fact check, a pregnancy is nowhere near viable at 12 weeks of pregnancy. Laura talked about the governor just pushing out a tweet. It's not just the governor. We're also hearing from Josh Stein, the Attorney General, saying the Republicans in the NCGA are pushing restrictions on women's reproductive freedoms. Women and their doctors should make these decisions, not politicians in Raleigh. I'll keep fighting for women's reproductive rights, and stakes for the 2024 governor's race just got higher. So we're getting reaction right now from the Democrats. Obviously, the Republicans here still speaking this evening. A huge story that's talking about access and changing the abortion window, when you can do it from 20 to 12 weeks with some exceptions built in. Much more in this breaking story and our team coverage here on WRAL.
A major development, Mark. Thank you. And as Mark was saying, we will continue to follow this breaking news on air and online. So please look for any developments and more reaction during this newscast and on our website.
In the last 2 hours, the FBI announced a $50,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of escaped inmate Aldermarine Sotella, the man charged with killing Wake County Deputy Ned Byrd. New documents reveal he plotted his escape during jailhouse phone calls with his sister. She was arrested for conspiracy. Adriana Marin Sotella appeared in federal court for the first time today. WRAL's Matt Tallhome was there and explains what she suspected of doing to help her brother.
Adriana Marin Sotella made an initial appearance here before a judge in federal court in Greensboro this afternoon. That hearing lasted just about